Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Ryan. This is LS Garage. So today we are inside the FRC and I'm doing some interior stuff. And what I mean by interior stuff is I'm replacing the old clunky stock shifter. Kind of see that there where I've taken the knob off, pop the little centerpiece out with a flat blade, use two flat blades and pop the little piece in the center of the retainer, just pops straight up. Knob comes off, just unscrews off. So took that off. I've got some screws I've got to take out down there, one right there behind that little sensor panel, and I'm going to remove a couple of screws in here. So once I get that done and get this stuff out of the way, my plan for the day is I'm going to go ahead and put in a different radio because this car is rocking the tape player. The tape player radio is way past due to be replaced. So I'm not doing anything real fancy. Eventually I'll deal with like a, full screen setup, but for now I just wanted some sound in here. I wanted to be able to have Bluetooth radio. That's really my main concern right now. So it's nothing real exotic. Got a sweet setup from Crutchfield for not a whole lot of money. I think I spent like 160 bucks. Got the radio, got the harnesses, got the adapters, everything all to my door for 160 bucks. So pretty sweet deal. I went with a digital media receiver type radio. Doesn't have an optical drive, doesn't have the CD, but I don't care anymore. It doesn't matter. I'm using USB for almost everything. So also this car has HUD, heads up display, but it doesn't work. So the previous owner told me that it just quit working one day. So I'm going to plan on going in there, taking everything apart to get into that. So I'm going to take everything apart, get everything down to literally just the bare dash underneath here, fix the heads up display. I'll look at that and see what's going on. Owner said that, previous owner, I'm the owner now, previous owner said that the display just quit working. He's driving, all of a sudden just went out. So I'm hoping it's just a simple connection. So we'll get in there, we'll check out and see what's going on. I've got some little knickknacks I'm going to do in here. Basically, it's a bone stock interior. Let me flip this camera around. It is a bone stock interior car. So I plan on doing Corvette flag decal here, Corvette decal over here in red. Different radio. I've got a different shifter that I'm going to put in here, and I'm going to fix the heads-up display. And I've got what else? Let's see. Oh yeah, bulbs, LED bulbs throughout. Lots of other guys on YouTube have done this already. TWA Motorsports, Travis, a good dude. He's talked to me a few times. He's got a few good videos on all this stuff. So I'm not going to sit here and bore you with exactly the same stuff he's going to do or he did in his videos, but kind of following along on how to get this thing out. These screws, I've taken one of these out before on a 02 Z06 that I had years ago, so this isn't too much different than what I've done before. But I'm going to go ahead and take it apart and get going. I'll show you in a minute what happens. What have I done? It's all apart. So that's not supposed to be out like that. That's not supposed to be there. That's not supposed to be there. Look at all that crap. Anyway, I went ahead and took it all apart. Didn't take that long. I was following a video. It took about an hour, maybe 45 minutes. It's pretty simple. So heads-up display connects right there at the top. That's my first thing to tackle. It's the deepest part of the job that I'm doing right now. And yeah, just unscrew about 15 screws, 12 screws, something like that. The thing just, and a few connectors, the thing just slides out. It's pretty good design, actually. So get in here pretty easily, and it's pretty bare bones. Obviously you guys have seen like vet carts and stuff like that, but it's really easy to gut these things. So it's not a whole lot left in there, but it's all apart. And I have the heads-up display over here on the bench, and I'm about to open the thing up. So it goes in the car just like that. That's the connector. Connector's right there. There's a little screw that's kind of hard to get to on the bottom. I took the top two out, and there's little nuts and studs that go there. I'm like, why isn't it moving? This guy's kind of hidden, so he's over there on the side. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this screw out, one there and one there, just all four corners. Take it apart and take a look at it. I think I see what the problem is. I don't think that's supposed to be laying like that in there. Didn't really notice it before. That arm doesn't look quite right either, so I think the mirror has come off of where it needs to. Actually, the mirror's right, but I think the projector's fouled up inside there, so we're gonna take a look and see. He said it just totally went out. I'm gonna verify all the connections are good. I'll back in the car and test it in just a little bit. And I've been testing it, and I don't think it's gonna work. I think it's actually, I think the projector's messed up. So I read online that you could solder this section together at the top right here at the connector, which I soldered that yesterday myself. Didn't get it really hot at all, just melted some solder on top of it. Thinking that maybe this photo whatever, excuse me, sensor was causing the thing to be dim. So when it's connected, the mirror moves back and forth like it's supposed to. It has full motion, but I have no image, no illumination. So I guess this guy is fried. I'm not totally sure. I don't really want us to go to the trouble to test it, because I'm not an electronics person. I can't really solder boards. I don't have the ability to do that. At the same time, you know, if it's got a problem now, it could have another problem later. So I got on eBay. I've made an offer on a projector with the same exact number from a 2000, a little bit newer car as far as VIN number goes. So I'm hoping that that'll fix the problem. I'm hoping I can get that here by the end of the week. I think it was asked at 180. I offered 160. So there's a couple of them on there that are about that same price point, $150 to $180. So hoping I can get it for that and get it here by the end of the week. Now I've got a slew of things I'm going to put in here while it's apart. I can keep working on different things. So got to kind of be careful as I get in here, because there's a bunch of little things on the floor of the car. So I've got to pull this out, pull this radio out. It'll be super easy. Just pull it out, switch it out. I've got a new one, little JVC unit I bought. One thing I didn't mention yesterday was a flasher module. It's right down in here. It's that guy right there, I believe. Basically pull it out and put a jumper relay, I guess, in between there. It's a relay box, and it'll make it so instead of having the hyper flash when you turn the key, and you know, I need to turn the key to do it, but turn signal on and it'll go tick, 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 you know, because the LED's in the front on those parking lights. So I will put that module in there and should slow it down. Should be normal. So I unplugged the connection on this side. Basically, before there was a connection here that was this guy, and then this plug goes in place of it. So you've got the relay sitting back in there, tucked in there. It's plugged in there, and that'll fix the hyper flash problem. So normally you just take the lower panel off and reach up in there and feel it. It's super easy. But yeah, since the dash is apart, I went ahead and did it now. So radio's gonna come out now. 7mm. So I'm going to leave these screws sitting here just because I'm going to use them in a minute. So this unit should just slide out now. Yep, it's free. Slide out. Don't want to mess up the climate control unit, so I'm going to set the phone down just for a second. I'll show you what I'm going to do in the back. There's some connectors back there, 2 or 3. They'll just unplug. Looks like probably a simple connector and then the radio. Should be pretty easy. So the main connector's right there. It came out of that hole over there. And now I'm fighting the factory connectors. They'll come out, but they're kind of a pain in the butt. They've been there for 20 years. So set it up on top of the cage and I'll just kind of work with them and get those out. Connector took a little persuasion. All I had to do is just kind of rock it back and forth and tug at the same time. The bottom one here, there's the clip for that one, and the clip for the other one is right on top. So you have to undo the bottom one before you can do the top one, so you can get in there. Or you can use I guess you can use a flat blade, but I'm just gonna do the bottom and do the top. Flathead method worked better on that. Just stuck it up in there, pulled it some tension on that, and then tugged them out. Went pretty fast. So there's the stock radio coming out of here. Bye-bye tape deck. It was $164 shipped to my door for the radio and all this stuff. And I went ahead and paid Crutchfield to wire this up just so I wouldn't have to fool with it. Just because the wiring takes the longest. And it was like 20 bucks, but I think it was worth it because I mean still $164, only 20 of it was that. So harness is all ready to go. Plug and play. This is the main harness, the harness that they rigged up to the one that's going to go on the radio. So it's attached right there. This is the module you have to have. hooks up everything, and then this shows different gain levels on these 4 channels. Hopefully they tinkered with that for me. If not, I can play with it. There may just be a spot they may just put it in the middle. I'll read on how to adjust that a little bit better. And then this guy I think is probably CD, maybe CD changer. I don't think it's in the back anymore. I haven't really looked for it, but I'm pretty sure it's not, because both the little cubby holes are empty. And the bottom cubby, I don't think it stays in there. I've never looked, but so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stuff this back in here, and then this piece right here will connect to the new radio. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Everybody's changed a radio before, so it's pretty easy. Comes with an antenna adapter also. It's a little bit bigger plug. Factory plug is kind of short and it's smaller, so it just plugs into there. This guy goes here into the radio, so we'll stuff that back in there. So this is the radio I went with. I'll get the box turned around here. It's a JVC KD X270BT. Like I said, it's just Bluetooth and USB, like it says. This dude's little. This dude, he's tiny. There's no depth to it because there's no optical drive, so plenty of room in here. It only has 1 set of preamp outs, which is fine because I'll probably just run a sub, and that's it. So that'll be subwoofer out, and I'll just use the Bose for everything else, because it doesn't have to be anything great, but I definitely want a little more bass, so I'll do that. Probably get a little cubby sub for the back, but yeah, pretty simple. So I got it powered up, so you can tell this is on 0, no volume. That's 1 on the volume. So I definitely want it to be lower than that on the preamp out, so I'll tinker with that a little bit. Sounds pretty even. Doesn't sound that great right now, but there's no EQ on it, so it doesn't really surprise me. So I'll tinker with that sound a little bit and get it mounted up. So I've got a new heads-up display. I ordered one. This is the bad one. This one was in the car. I tried everything I could think of to make this thing work, and I think the projector is just bad. So it came complimentary pubic hairs that I removed up here. Those were cute. Not really, just little hairs. I'm not sure why there was hair on it, but anyway. It all looks good, I guess. I mean, it's here. The mirror looks like it's at the right angle. It's a little bit of scratch. That's not scratch, that's just dirt. I'll clean it real good. There's another little hair. Little bitty hairs. Can you see the hair? Bye-bye hair. All right, so it's a later VIN than mine. Mine is, let's see, this is 129699. And mine is 100756. So hopefully they figured out what was wrong with these units earlier in production, which I have no idea, but maybe this thing will work. If it doesn't work, I've got a whole lot bigger problems, and I'm not going to do this again. I'll just send this thing back. 102-79814. 102-79814 out of the car. Should match. Should work. I am going to open it up real quick. Actually, I'm going to make sure it works. And then if it works, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to solder the brightness adjuster, because I don't want it automatically adjusting brightness on me. I'd rather do it myself, especially if it starts acting wonky down the road. So let's check it first and see if it works. All right, I've got it dummied in there, plugged in, not bolted down. Let's check it out. Let's see if this thing works. This would just make my day if it cooperated and shine something up on that dash. Woohoo! It worked! All right. Controls work. Can move it up and down. Yes. That's so cool. I haven't had this in a while. Okay. Page button work. Yeah, oil, temp, fuel. I don't know. I might just leave it. I'm not sure if I should dim it. The auto dim might be kind of nice if it works. But if it goes out, I gotta take the whole dash apart again. So I'll probably go ahead and fix that. And then I'll just adjust it on the fly over here. So, gonna get hit by the foos. All right, so yeah, that's a really good thing. I just spent 160 bucks on this thing, so I'm glad it works. Makes me happy. Okay, so the new stuff in here, let's go through it all. These were pretty easy. I used a little X-Acto knife and another knife basically to lay them down and position them and then just kind of pushed them in. I cleaned the area with Q-tip and some rubbing alcohol just in those areas because it will kind of make the leather fade a little bit in the wheel. I actually have a different wheel in mind for this car eventually, but for now that kind of livens up the interior. New radio in, basic JVC, told you about that, $164 everything. I even actually paid 20 or 25 bucks to have them wire it just to save me that extra hour. Just simple, just pop it in. It was so easy. It would be 140 bucks if you didn't pay for that. So that was with everything I needed to make it work in the car, which is awesome. That's from Crutchfield. So I'm not trying to give them props, but you know, they're not paying me to say that, but it definitely was a good deal. These stickers I put in, they're a pain in the butt. They don't stick very well, and I had to heat them up to get them to cooperate, just to get them to stick. So we'll see how long those last. You can see the R. Is the R coming up? It's just kind of crooked. I couldn't get that to lay exactly right, but it looks okay. It's not gonna be right up on it. The footwells are white, as you see. So this car basically has the bare bones, what do you call it? Bare bones light package. It does not have the two lights in the cargo area in the back. It does not have a dome light. It has the mirror lights, which I changed out. Those were a hassle. I don't recommend it unless you just really want this look. There's some alignment pins in there you have to get exactly right. They're a hassle. Basically needle nose, trial and error to make sure you get the polarity right on the LEDs. Pain in the butt. The hood does not have a hood light. You probably can't see out there, but there's no hood light. There's no trunk lights. It didn't come with the lights for these, which is a little bit of a bummer. I wouldn't have mind changing those out. So yeah, those were pretty easy. The footwells were the simplest. And then I think that's all I did. Footwells, mirror lights. Was there anything else? I don't think there was. Pretty simple. So got those changed out. This is a new shifter. This is a core shifter. It does not have a different base. He uses the factory base. It's basically a better version of a Hurst shifter from what I've been told. So this comes off. The stock shifter unbolts 4 bolts inside, pops out. You retain the little plastic insert, pop it off there very carefully, grease the end of this stick where the ball is, pop that plastic piece back on, put the whole assembly back in, and there you go. So it feels good. It's very tight. I don't have a ball on it yet. I just kind of felt through the gears. Definitely shorter throw. I'm just not sure about it yet. I have to drive the car and tell you, but it definitely feels better than stock, and it was very cheap. I think this is retains the stock shift knob version. They have a Hurst ball shift knob option with a chrome stick. I wanted the basic stick. I'll reuse my factory boot. I've got this cool little knob back here. Hold on, break my neck. Okay. This is an eBay jobber I found. It is a C5 to C6 adapter knob. And I'm not sure if you can see inside this or not. You probably can't. But basically it has a notch where this would go, where it's like a flat spot. And what you have to do is you have to drop it down, and then you want to push it and thread it into the plastic. There it goes. That's not really what I wanted it to do. Basically I want it to thread on as I go, and it was kind of a pain. It's been threaded, but you have to be extremely careful when you put it back on not to cross the threads, because all it is a plastic insert. Hit and miss design. I threaded it down to about right here. It's still a little bit tall. I don't even know if I went that far. It says not to over tighten, so I'm going to wait till I get everything back together to tinker with this anymore, just because I don't want to screw it up. It was a $100 knob. Kind of stupid to pay that much for it, I know, but I really like the look of it, and I didn't want just a round knob. So I thought about a Delrin race knob, but they're cold in the winter, and if I drive the car when it's cold out, I don't want to be freezing my hand or having to wear a glove, because Delrin retains temperature pretty well. So put that back there. So this was left over from the doors. I went ahead and just kind of stuck it down and put the piece down each side just to kind of help with the heat a little bit. Same with over there, that goes around the outside edge. Hopefully that'll help the heat. So I'm gonna wipe that wipe that airbag cover off. It's kind of dirty on the edge. The seat track, that was the last thing I did. That was yesterday. Okay, there's one last thing. That's RCA out for a subwoofer. So I plan on putting a sub in the very trunk, little small center cubby area back there eventually. The last thing I did was the seat. I tell you what, man, this thing was the biggest pain out of everything. Taking apart this seat is harder than anything on the dash. The dash was easier to get out than the flipping seat, which is crazy, but you know, everybody knocks on these seats, and now I can see why. They're a freaking pain in the ass, pardon my language, to work with. Getting it out of the car is easy. That's cake. Getting the repair done so the seat doesn't rock anymore, which you can't tell, but it doesn't rock anymore. I would sit in the thing, I'd hit the brakes, and I'd feel like I was going to fly through the dash because it had like a ½ inch play, maybe 3/4 of an inch of play, where it would like slam me back and forth in the seat, which was not a good thing. Make sure the key is out because I'm about to shut this door. Okay. So yeah, that was a hassle, and I will never ever do it again. I came to the point where I bought a kit with the spacers. I bought the kit from West Coast Corvettes, or one of those Corvette sites, you know, whatever. It was an eBay thing, and it came with instructions. I thought, well, I want it because it has instructions with it. Well, first of all, anybody that can do it with the rail in the car or on the seat still is a freaking genius, because I couldn't get the 40 star-headed, whatever, you know, I don't know what you call it. It's not hex heads, but the star head, 40, you know, T40 Torx head. That's what it is. I couldn't get the thing out at all. There's no way to maneuver to get that bolt out. I don't know how you can get in there and do that. So my saving grace was another guy on YouTube that does the CNS Corvettes out of somewhere in Florida. And I'd seen their videos before, and they have some pretty good content. This dude does a step-by-step walkthrough, and he made it super easy to take what you need to take apart off of the bottom cushion to get to the rail, to get the rail off the seat, and then work on it. So much better. That dude, so much better. Thank you so much for making that video, because that was a lifesaver. So, you know, I got that back together. It took me a good afternoon to get that all together, and I finally got it back in the car and no play. And it runs back and forth. It works. I'm very happy about that. So, knock on wood, everything is going well with this car. I've never had a car that's been this easy. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I'm finding good videos and good tutorials and it's not overly complicated. I don't know, but it's been very easy. And that makes me very, very happy and excited about this car. Car's looking awesome. Going to get it back together. Going to get the windows tinted in a few days. I'm excited. So the windows, once they're tinted, it's time for power. We're going to make some power. We're going to do heads and cam on this car, and it's going to be awesome. My buddy of mine had one years ago. It feels like a rocket ship in these cars because they're so light. I know it's not going to be the fastest thing on earth. I don't care. I want the thing to handle, to ride, to brake, and to go fast in that order. So that's what I've accomplished so far. The sway bars should be in. I ordered some C6 Z51 sway bars. That's the last handling mod. I've got the DRM Bilsteins on it, got the brakes done. It feels awesome so far. The squeak is gone. I had a squeak in the back that was driving me nuts. That was apparently a shock mount. That's gone. Car's feeling awesome, riding awesome. Just got a few things to figure out when I do the heads and cam. Gonna figure out why it's leaking fluid. I think it's clutch fluid, but I'm not sure. Could be power steering. Gonna have that looked at. I've got a rack bushing for the steering that I'm gonna have changed out. I'm excited. I'm really excited about this car. It's gonna be great. So please stick around. I'll try and do more content on actual building. Most of the stuff that I've already done has already been done online, so I feel bad, you know, taking everybody's, you know, stealing everybody's thunder and all that good stuff. I'd rather just do my own thing and lead you guys along in the process. And this car is going to be great. I'm really excited about it. So please like and subscribe. If you like the video, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content on this car. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.